keep falling.
There's just no denying it. You've all been a little inspired by this knuckleheaded ninja. Being excited over episodes on Cartoon Network has always been a memory that I look back on fondly. My favorite part was just hearing those awesome openings, but there's just one scene that just stuck with me. Yeah, I'm talking the infamous Orochimaru vs Sasuke fight, and today I'm gonna try to recreate it in my own style. I've always used references heavily in my artwork, and obviously I can't pull off the acrobatic stunts that you see on the show, but I actually have a Naruto themed solution for this. We're gonna use a swing set. So we're gonna be coming at the camera running, jumping, twirling around in the air, throwing our kunai, and I'm gonna have to fit all that in one page. During this whole process, I was going from, oh my god, what am I doing, to, oh my god, I know exactly what I'm doing. So yeah, I was just trying to frame this scene as coherently as possible. So I start off running, and then I catch a kunai midway, and then I pull off a 6 somersault. Now I'm airborne throwing kunais. My main fear was someone seeing me and going up to me and asking me, what the hell am I doing? There was this lady that just kept circling around and looking at me, and then she started walking towards me, and I'm like, fuck, what does she want? But she just said hi and started playing on the swings with me, so I was pretty much worried over nothing. She just wanted to have fun with me. So we got our references. Now all we gotta do is our storyboard. So I've broken up the storyboard in 2 parts: the run and jump, and the twirl and throw. In some of the references, some parts of the body were blocked out by some objects, but I actually kind of like when that happens, because then I could be a bit more creative with my drawing instead of having to rigidly copy the reference. I felt that the composition I made on the first part of the drawing was actually pretty good, but the second part I was just having a hard time with. I was just having a hard time imagining that this pose will flip into this pose. In the anime, they could just add a lot of crazy poses and it'll just flow nicely. But I only got 1 page, so I'm gonna have to make every pose matter. So I start off by seeing how everything fits, and then I kind of half-assed the background a bit. I don't really want to put too much detail in it because I know I'm going to smudge the fuck out of it once I really get into this drawing. And I'm just going to jump right into the 3rd pose because that's the pose I wanted to draw the most. The 3rd pose came pretty easily to me, at least compared to the 2 that I'm supposed to draw before this one. And that's mostly because I don't have a lot of space. I'm supposed to fit 2 poses in this tight little corner. So yeah, I gotta be very careful because I don't want to make something too big because it'll block out the back pose or make one look bigger than the other even though one is in front of each other. It's just a lot of things to look out for. Perspective and shit. But here I am trying to workshop this, but for some reason, something feels off. And I think it's because I completely changed the perspective. Beforehand, it was a front view, and now it's an overhead view. So now this newfound perspective is clashing with the reference I already have. And this is when I start to overcompensate and try to build everything into a 3D box. But I have to remember, this pose isn't supposed to be bigger than the 3rd pose. The 3rd pose is the pose closest to the camera, and it's jumping away from the 2nd pose. So I think the best thing I could do right now is just oversimplify these 2 poses into cute little blobs. So we got the first half of this drawing situated. Now I'm gonna move on to the 2nd part, and I'm gonna start off by drawing the throwing pose. I really wanted to show the strain and force behind his throw, so I deviated a bit from the reference and I messed around with the face a bit. But honestly, I just gave up on that and just started following the reference again. Whenever I draw my characters, I just draw the head shape normally and then just paste the character's face onto that head shape. So regular people have nostrils, but if my character doesn't have nostrils, I'm just not gonna draw the nostrils. The good thing about the storyboard is that it can be as movementful and expressionful-less as you'd want, and it won't matter because it's an unrefined rough draft, so it can be scratchy and rough, and You know, but that final giraffe, it's a lot different. You have to make it flowy, you have to make it perfect, you have to make it look good. But I'm having some difficulty right now. I can't even fit the throw I was trying to draw. I ran out of space. In the storyboard, it has some DBZ after image type thing going on with the throw, but I'm not sure if I want to add that because I don't want my drawing to look muddy. I want your eyes to breathe when you look at my art. But maybe it's not necessary for me to draw every single little detail. Maybe it's supposed to be cut off and maybe people will just get what's being conveyed. And since the throw is implied, I'm just gonna draw the arm retracting, showing how hard the throw was. But then I had an idea. What if I made it ambiguous to which hand is the throwing hand? So I got my phone out and took a picture of my hand as if I was throwing something, and then I copied it to the drawing. Now I'm just gonna leave this as is and finish it later. Now it's time to move on to this awkward middle part. In my first draft, the character's backside is still facing the camera, but then I was thinking maybe I should have the character turning so you could complete the rotation on the last pose. So I went through my camera roll and found a reference that I felt would be a good in-between pose for these two poses right here. But I don't know, it's like this pose it's just not the GOAT. Like the old pose I made was the best one ever, and this one is just not fitting with the feng shui of the composition of the drawing and stuff. So I discarded this new leaf I was trying to turn and just went back to how I first envisioned it. Obviously, in Naruto, Sasuke throws a lethal weapon at Orochimaru, but I just didn't want to draw something like that because what if a young viewer watches this and thinks I condone violence, which I definitely do not. So I changed the kunai he was throwing into a kid-friendly snowball because I just want to be a positive influence on the youth. I don't want to just say and do something and just wash my hands away from accountability and you guys can feel free to draw scary swords and guns, but that's not me. If a kid in a trailer park throws a shuriken at another kid, that's on you. That bloodshed is not on me at all. Alright, all the poses are done and they're to my liking, so I'm gonna go back and draw all the details like the hair, the clothing, and whatnot. And for these smaller poses, I'm not gonna go so hard on the details, maybe a quick pencil swoop to convey the arm. This paper is actually textured, so depending on what angle you stroke the pencil with, your lines can be thick or thin, and I'm just trying to keep my drawing from being as muddy as possible. Okay, great. I'm done with every single thing regarding the characters. Now I need to draw the background, and it's gonna be hard drawing that without smudging everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and ink the line art so we don't have to worry about having a smudge-ridden canvas. This is the last bit of inking I have to do, but we are far from done from this whole drawing. We still have to draw the fence, which is the thing the character is running and jumping and climbing on. And this didn't take too long because I didn't use any vanishing points or perspective lines. I was just freehanding this the whole time. I even tried freehanding the chain link fence itself, which I don't even know why I did that. But the whole idea behind this fence is to draw it to make it look like it's paper thin. And not only do I want it to look paper thin, but I also want it to warp and wrap around. So yeah, I was trying to blend a lot of ideas together. And I think it could have worked, but I just got so tired of painstakingly drawing every diamond shape hole that I just abandoned what I was going after and just switched to a new pattern. Throughout this whole art process, I switched locations quite a few times, and that's because my house is fucking loud. Between my brother's frequent Roblox rages and my dad's AI Trump videos, I just can't catch a break. So I thought maybe a change in my surroundings would make a difference. So maybe I thought the library might be a good place to find some peace and quiet. But no, people are just as loud, if not louder. So I went to the spot where all the no cell phone signs were, and I was thinking it was gonna be quiet, but no, motherfuckers pulling out their phone, calling up some bitches like, fuck! So yeah, this dude was on speaker talking in Spanish and stuff, and normally you would be able to tune that out, but I know Spanish, so I was like, shit, you letting Lupita chew you out like this? So yeah, I think I'm just gonna go to the bookstore next time, because I feel like the people there aren't just there to use the free Wi-Fi. Alright, first part of the fence is finished. Now I have to move on to the other sides of the fence. But for those sides, I'm gonna have to draw another chain link pattern. And I feel like my brain's gonna melt if I have to draw the pattern behind the pattern. So I might as well just ink it so I could erase all the pencil lines and I could see the... Okay, great. There's no pencil smudge obstructing my view, so I could start on this new pattern. And this time I'm gonna draw a grid. Makes it a lot easier than what I was doing beforehand. And for this side, I didn't even bother. It was too tight of a space to even draw anything. So I just said fuck it and made it up as I went. So here we have a snowy setting, and usually when it snows, the roofs are covered in snow, and you wouldn't really be able to tell because the whole thing is white anyways, and the character pretty much covers the whole thing. So what I'm gonna do is just draw a bunch of snowy clumps because that's really the only way I could think of to convey that it's snowing. So was I able to create something on par with one of the greatest fights of Naruto? I don't know. But I did feel like watching this scene made me want to draw something outside of my forte. All I wanted to do was capture that sporadic movement of that less than 5-second clip. So in a way, I think that Naruto's most iconic fight helped me find a new perspective on art.